ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day, a wonderful one out there. Thank you so much for stopping on in. Today, we're going to check out a little Ultravox. It's been a little bit since we've listened to them. We're going to listen to this particular track. I remember Death in the Afternoon in the parenthetical. This is off of their fifth studio album, Rage in Eden, which was released in 1981. We're listening to this track because it was suggested and sponsored by Eric. So Eric, thank you so much for the recommendation and for the support. I truly appreciate that. And I know that this album has been suggested before, but as for this particular track, I do see that it had been mentioned as well by Glib Medley and Dave over in London, or Gaia Eternal. So thank you guys so much for the recommendations. And well, actually, you know what? Gaia, you didn't mention this one. Somehow my search thing pulled you up. That's weird. See, like, I just typed in the song right here, and it pulled up your comment. I think because it has all the words I typed in the song, and you had all the words in your reply, so I think that's why I did that. Okay, anyways, that's how sometimes I try to pull you guys up, and it messes up who we're talking about. Anyways, you know what we should pull up is the album. That's probably what I should do right now. Rage in Eden. It's loading. And what do you know? It's here. Let's pull up the track. We'll discuss it a little bit after. Oh, actually, before we dive in, this album, does it have Fox in it? Or is it... Okay, so this album has Midge lead. I have John Fox's album... It's Garden, the Garden, I can't remember. And then Cathedral something. I want to listen to one of those two solo albums from him. Which one would you guys recommend? Okay, now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and listen to the track. We'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go. I like the way he sings here, along with the guitar. Very interesting. I really like this instrumental section. Still that rise. I really love this instrumental section. This is great. Hope this just keeps going. I like the guitar playing a lot. It provides a really fantastic atmosphere, whether it's soloing or just playing in the back. That was really, really good. I enjoyed that a lot. The instrumental section in the middle is the best part of that track, though. The way that they build that atmosphere. It has... Okay, can I tell you? It was the way that Midge is singing and some of the sound here, especially with the relatively simple bass, the bump, 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 with that pulse synthy bass, right? And the way that Midge is singing, it reminds me and it makes me think that this is like Kraftwerk, but if Kraftwerk were playing in kind of a more synth pop, okay, they're synth pop, but like post punk, like give them a little bit of that, and I feel like you get something kind of like in this particular sound, and I think that's really, really fantastic because of how Ultravox has like layered and layered and layered all these different textures within this track, but you still have that beat and you still have that rhythm that to me kind of reminds me of Kraftwerk. And the way that they layer is brilliant. There's so much space and room in this track, and yet there's so much that's constantly happening. If I just go back to the instrumental part, this section. So first of all, Cross is handling that bass line, and I like how we get that bump, 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 bump. We get that rise up that we had before, but now he brings it in every other measure in this particular part before we get back to the verse there, even though it kind of continues in there as well. Okay, then Curie on the synths, and I don't think there's violin on this particular track, but the synths, big ambience that just kind of sits back there, but it kind of also moves in a little bit of a slightly shifting kind of way. And I really like that. The piano comes in later on. So you get a little bit of a progression that eventually, builds that way. You also have Cross, who's also handling synth. So you get some more extra layers there. But then, of course, Midge on vocals, on guitars. And that guitar, it just sizzles on top of all those synths. It's synths. I was trying to combine synths and sizzling, but it's not working. It's synthsizzling. Here, and the sustained notes really like have a nice landing on top of those pads. Like it kind of roars in a prime but gentle way. Then bass takes back over, right? But isn't there something kind of exciting about the way that the bass kind of runs off and the guitar kind of holds at that particular climactic moment? There's something about the way that they do it that makes it really exciting. And this is an almost 5-minute track, which in some places is long. Here on this on this channel, that's not long at all. But I really wish that instrumental section had gone on longer because that was just a cool place to stay. I liked when Midge comes in and he's singing, and to me, he sings in a very placid kind of way where there's not a ton of emotion in the way he sings, except there is one part when some deeper vocals come in, which I really like that. Those longer held notes that almost had a little bit of a gothic kind of atmosphere to it. But his vocals are more just straightforward and, not so emotive. And I think it works really well here. Once again, that reminds me of Kraftwerk to an extent. But it's the instruments and the way that all of them play that's where the magic is. This whole part. And you can almost hear them probably overdubbing that guitar. You can hear one of those lines, the original line, kind of fading away in the back and kind of working back into that industrial sound that's kind of going on with the machinery. And then like some more guitar kind of coming in around it. It's just brilliant. I love the way they add piano in this ending section here. I think that this is just an all-around really fantastic song and a highlight. You know, this just sounds really, really good. I enjoyed this a lot, and especially from how relatively simple it begins. Very light, little piano, the bass obviously, and some synth in the back. But compare that to how mixed up it gets in here. There's a great progression organically in not just how the song moves from point A to point B, but also in the building up vertically in the different layers of sediment that we have going on here. And not too many vocals, not too many lyrics actually in this one. We tuned the dial, we heard the news and laughed, we don't know why. We drank the wine and spoke of times we knew of days gone by. We flicked through photographs we had, somehow they made us sad. Remembering the times we used to have, it made us cry. I like that. So looking back, nostalgia, and, we're thankful for the times we had, but we're sorry and sad that those times are now gone. So there's an I remember that's happening, and then death in the afternoon. It's kind of like a death of self, but like in the past, you're losing yourself. Oh, I remember death in the afternoon. A silence fell about the room with harsh and heavy calm. The lovers and the friends all felt the same. It kept us warm. Like at least you're feeling this in solidarity with others. This feeling of lost time and time lost. We raised our glass and drank to times we had, but see no more. The pictures of the past would haunt us still, and there remains, oh, I remember death in the afternoon. I think that's a really great way of describing that. It's almost like they're having a memorial service to their past and to the times that they had. I actually really like that, and describing it as death in the afternoon is really cool and a great symbol to use there lyrically. Let me know what you all thought of the track, of course, down below in the comments. Eric, I appreciate the recommendation and the support as well. Hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow.